So I want to tell you something. That you have all kinds of different people reaching out to me, news media and stuff like that. And here I am with you, and that's out of straight respect. You know what I mean? Like, no, I
Salutes.
don't mean that in a bad way. Like, I'm just saying, like I'm keeping it real.
Salutes. I appreciate it.
I seen something. I seen something. Of course, I'm gonna praise this one out, just because it's a good comment, and it says the twins were the smart ones all along. We will see eventually, right? Eventually, everyone else will get it. But I think it's insane news. Um, I have a couple of really good relationships with people that are, like really got like a first-hand like knowledge and insight on this story. And I think there will be a lot of things that are going to come out that are going to be surprising. But the fact that people are thinking that he turned himself in is outrageous. That would never happen. And I think we're going to be surprised. But I will tell you, there's some, there's a lot of, as you know, intelligent people and creative people when it comes to, the world of drug trafficking, especially those world of narcos. And I think if the real story comes out, we're going to be, the world's going to be kind of surprised. And, to everyone that's been here on your channel, and we're always talking about, like, the, I guess the real, the real insight of the drug trade or the narco trade, and how there's no loyalty and how everyone does each other in. I guess there's going to be another example that even the bosses could get it right. We've been on your channel, and I said that I didn't think that this was ever going to happen. I guess I'm wrong. I'm not always right. I could admit when I'm wrong, but I will tell you, because maybe even at that time we could never imagine some of the stuff that kind of unfolded, and like today, and it's probably going to be this for a while.
What makes you think that he didn't turn himself in? What makes people crazy for thinking that?
I mean, could there have been a possibility because he's dying that he could have said, "Look, I'll do a good deed," but for who? Right. It's not like his son got turned in. He didn't, his other son, who's like running it right now, didn't come in with him at all. He didn't turn himself in. Like, well, all his sons are already free. You know what I mean? Like, if he's dying and the government knows, and they look at it like it'll be a trophy, just to get him the last days, and they'll arrange something so that he could spend some time with his son, before he dies and all that. Sure, I guess, right? But the fact that he's, to me, I got like a crazy conspiracy.
You want to share that?
Why? I got a, conspiracy. I don't think it was voluntarily. That's why he ended up with, with one of Chapo's sons. They don't trust each other like that.
To be just traveling together?
Absolutely not. He probably hasn't seen those kids in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? He's a very wise man. He doesn't care about feelings, all that stuff that people think, let's just have a conversation, because it works that way. And just to let everyone know, like, when people come in here and think that they're like these experts, I see them dropping, comments in the chats about, they think they know something. Nah, just so you guys know, they say that El Mayito Flaco was el consentido del Mayo. Nope. It's real simple. Mayo had one favorite son. That was Vicente. By far. Before anyone else.
He said Ovidio was released 2 days ago.
Nah, man. That's what happens when you go into witness protection. The government, the United States government don't work that way. The United States government don't work that way, and that would happen in your, release to witness protection.
So what's your theory? What's your theory with the whole, him and one of the Chapitos will never be together like that,
No, absolutely not. Now, anything's possible. If the deal is going to be done, it's going to be done for his own son. I just don't see that it being like a willing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not he was kidnapped by the United States government. That's a different story, or
Mm-hmm.
because there's procedures, right, that have to be done. Even if like if the government were to go for him and arrest him in Mexico, no matter what, there's still procedures that have to be done before he gets extradited. You know. So the fact that it landed in El Paso, and the fact that it was a private jet. Yeah, I think that's going to be a story.
So what we're saying is, so the way people, because again, all I read was what I just read, right? But people are saying that him and Joaquín were together. What you're saying is, yeah, they both might be popped off and they both in custody, but that shit didn't happen together on some.
Absolutely not.
That didn't happen together on some. They caught them on an airplane shit.
Yeah, bro. Even whatever you say about his youngest son Joaquín, but nah, bro. It's two different worlds. You have to understand. It's like in reality. Let's go back to regular life. It's like you imagine, like like here's the boss of basically one of the biggest boss in a very long time. Like he has no debt or no relationship with a young ass kid, no matter what. It's all like what people think. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. So that didn't happen by like this like unity for sure. That's BS.
Right. So if they're both in custody, it happened in two separate deals.
Yeah, for sure. And don't forget, people don't understand. If you like pay attention to some of the stuff that's out there, like towards I know, like even after I turned myself insecure because some of the things I've been involved with, Mayo and Chopper wouldn't even see each other like that, like they used to see each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's books where his son was like, we saw him on this date. You get me? Like even him with his
right,
with his like best friend in the world, they didn't even spend time like that.
Right. If you let the people in the comments tell it, these people were just walking. They live next door to each other, and they just walked over for tea and crumpets and shit.
No, absolutely not. Whenever they see each other, that was planned.
Right.
It was like planned by far. You get me? Like it didn't happen. Like, hey, come over. What are you doing?
Right. It's on the schedule.
Yeah, it didn't work that way. Think about that, and then just consider that if that's what they did, and they're supposedly they were really close, that's not going to be happening with his son, basically.
Right.
I just think that it's because everyone gives. All right, and I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way. Everyone gives too much like credit because they see what's on TV, right? Like with his sons and stuff. And I'm not saying it's not true, but how the perception of people of what they could imagine is not like that. It's not, people's perception is not true. That doesn't work that way.
So what do you think? They caught the old man slipping at the avocado farm and snatched him up?
I like the idea though, turning him over for money and then already knowing that doesn't work. That the government doesn't pay you anything. They basically give you that offer where it's like, what do you want? You want the money or do you want time off? Okay? Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to hear people in the chat like, oh, he took the money.
So you're saying just as somebody who has the information, who knows where he is, his whereabouts, catches themselves in a pickle and sells off that information to the United States government for money that they're never going to see?
Well, no, I'm saying, just say whoever's close enough basically almost is going to be someone who's right, who's probably like a criminal or something, Mm-hmm. How do you know the information they're going to ask, Mm-hmm. How? And all that.
Right. Of course.
So in order for you to be a squeaky clean person, you know what I'm saying? For you to actually receive that, I think that'll be hard, Well, anything's possible, but I believe right now, okay, I'm just going to say out there that he didn't always have an army with him. Mm-hmm. People think that. Mm-hmm. He could be solo dolo.
Right.
You find out where he's at solo dolo, I mean, he could be a victim just like anyone else.
Right.
And instead of them, killing him or doing something like that, why not get a nice compensation, like get out of jail free card? Mm-hmm. money.
Right.
You know, so just think about it that way.
So you just thinking somebody sold them out and the U.S. snatched them up?
And I think not. I think it could have been planned. I just don't think. I don't see with the relationship with the presidents and everything, the government, that happening like where they're just gonna allow the United States to go and then take them like that without his rights. It's just understanding like Mexico's not gonna let another country come into the United States just take them without its due process. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So what do you think happened?
He could have been kidnapped and kind of forced there and put on a plane.
And put on a plane.
Sent to the U.S.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying. They found out where he was at, and they were able to kidnap him, and then put him on a nice jet.
Right.
Without you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my thought. You know, my thought is that someone, somewhere, they all conspired. We're going to dance with a few people, and instead of doing killing them, so why not get a good, get something in return?
Right.
Look, the only thing I could see, I don't. Could he have done it himself?
Yeah, like you said, there's no motivation for that. What is the motivation for that?
If he could have done it himself, it's just to say, you know what, for a bigger reason, right? But I would think that his son would have came into play for that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
His own son, you know what I'm saying? Not Chapo's son. And don't forget, his sons are already all in U.S., They live in the U.S., they're free, except for one.
He said, could the government still try and get the twins to testify against Mayo if in fact they didn't turn themselves in?
Yeah. Absolutely. There
it is, JFL. The answer is C. Yes.
Albie said, does this have anything to do with Cheo Anthrax? They killed Cheo Anthrax a couple of weeks ago. That's, he was like the last living Anthrax, I think, and he was, I think he's married to one of the nieces or something, somehow related. And the first thing I thought was because I seen reports where they were saying that he didn't want to, that they had asked him to turn himself in to cooperate, and he was like, hell no. So, they killed him. Yes, his own organization killed him.
So that's what I was just going to ask you. So wait a minute. His organization told him basically another sit down the way they did with the Sons and said, go on and cooperate. And he's like, nah, y'all ain't going to put me in that position. So they murked him. Supposedly
that was one of the stories I saw, which kind of made sense because the first thing when I saw the video and I saw that it was parked and basically they gunned them down while the truck was parked, I'm like, of course it's someone that they know because he traveled with a nice group of people, you know what I mean?
Right.
And why would you be parked? You stop so someone could do you. No one does that. So that made me think. And then later on, there's reports saying that supposedly that they had asked them or told him that they wanted him to turn himself in and cooperate or whatever. And he said no.
And they said, okay, you don't get to turn your truck on then.
Yeah. And he was family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Imagine he's family. And they do that to your own family, your own people.
Oh.
I mean, that's the life, bro. I mean, listen, I will say, and don't get all sensitive on me, IQ, and we talked about this before, Shai, that what everyone is witnessing and realizing today, and you're bringing it to light, you're struggling to bring it to light, it's shit that we knew, 15 years ago.
Right.
17 years ago. Like, we knew it, we were part of it.
Right.
The only thing I would tell you is, not me. You know what I mean? Thank God that he gave me the strength and gave me this, basic idea and motivation to change my life. But I got to see what was going to happen.
Let's just say they say, JP, you guys got to come testify against Mayo, and y'all be like, nah, fuck y'all, we done with that shit. Well, what can they do? They can, just throw away your deal, send you back, all kind of shit?
I mean, how about this? This is the logic, right? That's a good question just because we talked about it. And this is the logic that we have. Why would I even
Of course.
consider that? Like, meaning, why would I even consider even that argument? Does that make sense? Like, why? So, I don't want to put nothing out there, like, and next thing you know, put negative,
Right. No, that was just the the dude that got all kind of questions all the time asking me.
Yeah, the dude has all kinds of questions. But, well, basically, look, this is what's funny, because I think about that sometimes. Sometimes we get asked these questions, right? Mm-hmm. And it's always like, from their perspective, it's like, yeah, but it's like, why would I even put myself in that situation?
Right.
Why? Like, bro, like, fighting a life sentence is not nice. Like, you gotta beat it, Mm-hmm. It's like you getting your ass whipped 100 times and you're like, hold on, this time I might have a chance.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Nah. If someone's, bigger and better than you, and, you just gotta accept it. That's it. I think, man, this is historic, that's for sure. This is something I never thought was gonna happen. I've said it before. I don't, I admit when I'm wrong. I don't know what comes after this. I will say that now you could probably do another 100 videos and talking about, okay, if he cooperates, let's see what kind of excuses they come up. Because I guarantee you, nothing, if he cooperates, people will continue to, glorify him and talk about him and all that. And because that's just the way it is. I'm not, like, hating on that. I'm just saying, people take have a double standard.
Oh, yeah.
What happens. And then now what's going to happen even for mainstream media is because they're going to say, oh, Mayo's bigger than Chapo. They're going to start with that BS. Mm-hmm.
No, what's coming next is, Mayo was never the boss. It really was, and insert whatever name they feel like inserting next.
Yeah. This is like, I'm going to tell you, this is like historic for sure. Because now it's going to kind of leave, you're going to start hearing different names, that's for sure. It's going to just create more problems probably in Mexico. But I don't know. I mean, I've been thinking about that because it's not like Mayo's not what people think. His organization is strong and they're loyal and they're powerful. He has a lot of connections. He has, he has a face, but he's not involved,
Right.
Like, he wasn't involved like people think. That's what, a lot of people don't understand.
Right.
It's like Jeff Bezos, like, bro, like, someone else runs his company.
Right. He's not in the warehouse.
He's not in the warehouse. He's not even in the damn, luxury, office building. I will tell you, I haven't even saw anything. Basically, look, one of those news stories was written by a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine. I haven't even seen any news reports. As a matter of fact, my brother doesn't believe it. He's still, even right now, he's like, man, I can't find nothing. Yeah, so right now, all the stories is, all these stories are really not going to be official until a little bit,
All these stories what? Say it again?
I think they're not going to be official because you're getting, like, the beginning, stories of it. You're not going to hear the real story until later.
Right.
Now it's on every news channel.